I think a lot of people that I've talked to now that we've all interviewed have said they didn't think that they were going to be surprised in these hearings because we feel like we know this story. I've been surprised by how much I've been surprised and actually shocked. Because, as you just said, the escalation against Pence, which was the subject of the previous hearing, that buildup was dramatic. And you really understood, okay, this man's life was in danger. He was under basically threat of being lynched if he didn't do what he was told. But now you see that this filtered all the way out. And I think one of the things that was so effective about this hearing today is that each of the testimonies started with this question. You're a conservative Republican, right? You wanted Trump to win, right? Yes, other than Ruby Freeman and Shaye Moss. And so you established that they were willing to menace, threaten even to kill, dox. I mean, you're talking about Brad Raffensperger's daughter, who's a widow at home with her kids, then having somebody invade the home. You're talking about Shaye Moss's grandmother have people beat down her door and say, we're making a citizen's arrest in Georgia, a black woman. That sounds like a lynching party. I mean, it was shocking to hear the level of violence that Trump was willing to mete out from all the way to Pence, all the way down to Shaye Moss. He wanted violence, anything. There's a name for that. It's called fascism.
Well, and to that point, one of the recurring themes we saw in the last hearing, and we saw it in this hearing, and I thought your intro there about pressure campaign was really aptly done, that you keep having these interactions where the people on the receiving end of the Trump arguments are like, these are bad arguments. The people on the Trump end are like, we're not really making arguments. And there's just, you keep fundamentally just being like, well, sir, actually, I looked that up. That fact doesn't matter. Well, sir, that argument doesn't scan. That theory doesn't work. Again and again, these lawyers saying this. And what you realize, almost sort of like horror movie pin dropping, is like, they're not trying to persuade you.
Right.
They're not making arguments to you. They are trying to force you. They are trying to coerce you. They are bullying you. They are threatening you.
Yep, exactly.
And so you keep having this moment of these kind of like functionary, sort of small C conservative lawyers being like, but wait, that doesn't.
I have not seen the evidence.
That doesn't scan. And it's like, that's not what we're doing here, dude.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, then the mob's at your door.
We're giving
that's
you a
when
reason to do it. And if
Yeah.
you don't accept the reason, the mob will be at your door.
Rachel, one of the things that got name checked today was The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight, which is Jimmy Breslin's novel. Jimmy wasn't credited. The author never gets credit. Turned into a movie. And it's about an actual gang of gangsters who are bad at it because they're stupid. And Jimmy Breslin understood that stupidity runs very high in gang world. Rudy Giuliani, in the piece that we just saw there, where Speaker Brian Cutler, Pennsylvania, is refusing to take his call. He's made it clear, he's communicated through people to Giuliani, do not call me. Now, he couldn't make it clearer that he's not going to be part of the gang. And the gang that couldn't shoot straight keeps calling him, not just calling him, leaving tape-recorded voicemails from Rudy Giuliani. Jimmy Breslin wouldn't have written that himself.
And then they organize a mob to go to his house because he won't take the calls.